So for those of you that haven't joined us before, this is our second Plant-Based Cooking in Schools workshop. Welcome. I'm Colette Fox and I'm the Programme Manager, and I will be handing over to Lisa Marley, who is our coordinator and our plant-based chef. So yeah, we're just going to talk you through, if you were here last time, we do a quick 10-minute just explaining why it's really important to have more plant-based food, and then we get straight into the recipe. So we won't be more than 10 minutes on this part, and this is being recorded and we will share the recording with you afterwards, so you don't need to kind of scribble all this down. So okay, so just a little bit about us. We're ProVeg UK and we're part of ProVeg International. We're a global food systems change organisation. Hopefully you can see from the map, we have 9 country teams around the world. Our mission is to reduce the global consumption of animals by 50% by 2040. And our vision is a world where everyone chooses delicious and healthy food that is good for all humans, animals, and our planet. So we've won some awards. We won a UN Momentum for Change Award for our school food programmes internationally. And this year we were finalists with the APPG Excellence in School Food. So we're happy about those. And just really our aim. So we help schools to become both healthier and more sustainable through their school food. And the added bonus is that the work that we do and the help we provide also saves money. So I'm just going to talk a little bit more about each of those. So for the planet, oh, sorry, I'll just go back. Sorry about that. So we've essentially got here on this slide 2 of the government's kind of expert advisors. We've got the Climate Change Committee, who advise on climate, and we've got the National Food Strategy advising on food. And you can see from these figures, they're both essentially saying the same thing. We need to cut meat and dairy significantly. So the Climate Change Committee, a 20% shift away by 2030, which goes up by over a third by 2050. And the National Food Strategy is saying we need to be eating 30% less meat. But really importantly as well, 20% more fruit and veg, and 50% more fibre, which is super important for our gut microbiome, for our immune systems, and it's the thing that we often lack in our diets. So the other key reason that we're doing this is for children's health. So plant-based food lowers the risk of obesity, which we know is a massive problem in the UK. So the stats are pretty shocking. Almost 10% of children starting school in England are obese, and by the time they get to age 10, over a third are overweight or obese. So it's really important that we're helping to up the fruit and veg and the fibre. Plant-based food helps lower the risk of chronic diseases. So again, it comes back to fibre, which is only found in plant foods. So this helps lower our risk of heart disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes, some cancers. And you know, obviously, plant foods are packed with nutrients and the all-important fibre. They're also much lower in saturated fat and calories. And I just wanted to give a little overview of the kind of help that we offer here at School Plates. So we have free resources that we're going to show you, which you can download on our website, the guide and the recipes. So the guide talks you through our programme and how you can implement it within your schools. And the recipes are 35 plant-based recipes that we've designed that comply with the school food standards. We also offer a menu review. So this is about helping to kind of nudge behaviours of children through the language we use on the menus, the positioning of dishes, and providing meaningful choice. So that's not putting a meat dish against a veggie version of the same dish on the same day. And you can find more about all of this in our resources. We also offer help with putting on Save the Planet Days. So this is really kind of rebranding those meat-free Mondays and giving it a positive spin and making helping children to make that connection between the food they're eating and the impact it has on the planet. With Lisa, we also offer plant-based recipe development. So again, if you've got recipes that don't fit within the ones that we've got and you need some help with those, that's something we can do. We offer these online workshops, which are mostly aimed at individual schools. But if you're from a multi-academy trust or a local authority, we also offer in-person workshops where we come to you and we train your team. And we will have an accreditation scheme that is coming soon. So hopefully we'll be able to tell you a bit more about that next time. So these are our resources, which you can download for free from proveg.com on our website. And yeah, everything that Lisa's going to be demonstrating today, you can find in the recipes, all the information's there. And I just wanted to share this little screenshot that's in both of our both of the resources. So it's just comparing a spaghetti bolognese with beef with a spaghetti bolognese with the beef taken out, and we've replaced it with soy protein and lentils. And this is in there, so I won't go through it, but essentially on all counts there, the plant-based version is better. So it's cheaper, it's lower in saturated fat, it's got way more fiber and way less carbon emissions, and it's a very similar level of protein. So again, just have a look in those brochures and you can see what a massive difference this you know, tweaking some of the recipes can make. And just a little bit about what we've done so far and who we help. So far we've helped to swap over 6 million school meals from meat-based to meat-free or plant-based. And that is about 3,000 schools who we're working with in some way, helping the menus. And that's about 405,000 children that eat from those menus. And yeah, this is just all our social media channels. If you want to follow us, that would be lovely. You'll also get to find out about these workshops, when the next dates are, etc., and just what we're up to. So do give us a follow. And that's just our contact details. If you have any questions, feel free to pop them in the chat today, or you can email us schools@proveg.com. And that is the end of my little piece. I will switch off my camera, stop sharing my screen, and hand over to Lisa to get cooking. Thank you.
Thanks, Colette. Brilliant information there. Do email us if you have any other questions, or there was a survey at the end of the webinar, which we'd love you to take part in, and we're going to answer some of the questions from the last webinar as well, I believe. So yeah, I'm Lisa, and I'm going to be taking you through 4 of the recipes from the 35 plant-based recipes in our brochure. And they are predominantly for primary schools, but I eat them all the time. You can obviously adapt them at home if you want to add a bit of more spice or whatever you want to do. But I'm going to stick to the recipes today. You may or you may not have downloaded our brochure already. In the brochure, it's really handy. It's got all the scaling for you, so you can scale up or you can scale down. The recipes are for 10 primary school portions. So today I'm going to show you how to make the Mexican style chili non carne. I'm also going to show you the creamy collie mac and cheese and peas. And then I'm going to show you the sweet potato and carrot and roasted garlic mash. It's really, really good and really simple. And then I'm going to show you one of the crowd pleasers. It's the crushed chickpea and sweet corn and mayo wrap. We found that in schools, grab and go wraps are really, really popular. And this one's just a lovely recipe. So if you do already serve wraps, you might want to try this one. So I'm going to start with the Mexican style chili non carne. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about the cost. Well, I'm going to tell you the cost actually. It's 36 pence per portion. Fibre is 7.1. Protein is 12 grams. So high in fibre, high in protein, very low in saturated fat, 0.4. Some other nutritional facts for you. Low sugar, contains omega-3, calcium, iron, zinc, and it's very, very low carbon emissions. So all in all, very good. And we're going to be using something called, which you may or may not be familiar with. It's the soya mince. So soya mince, obviously this is a small pack, you probably buy it in bulk, but dried soya mince is made from textured soya protein, and it's a source of vitamin B, iron, it's high in amino acids, and it's got a really long shelf life as well, and it's an instant source of protein. It's quick and easy to make, and or you buy it actually, but it's quick and easy to make in dishes, inexpensive, and above all, it tastes really good. So yeah, so we're going to be using that today. So first of all, I'm going to fry off some onions.
Just quickly, Lisa, I was just going to say, we just did the soya protein poll. So 58% of people today have used it and think it's great, and 42% haven't yet but are willing to try. So that's great.
Oh, that's a nice answer then. Good, that's good. So in it goes. So we've got chopped pepper here and chopped onion. So finely, well, I could have gone a bit finer, but finely sliced, chopped rather. Get rid of that. And we're going to fry that off for just a minute. Onion, always a brilliant base of any dish, because you're going to get that, you know, good flavour flying out there a little bit. And pepper adds a really nice colour, a lovely sweetness. And I would advise doing it in a deeper dish though. You can see mine popping out a little bit, never mind. So just literally just frying it off. And then to that, we're going to add some spices. So let me read out the ingredients actually whilst we're frying off the onion. So a little bit of oil, onion finely chopped, red pepper diced. We're going to add some mild chili powder, some ground cumin, sweet smoked paprika, garlic granules, tomato puree. So packing it with flavour, tons and tons of really lovely spices that are really good for you and just make everything taste wonderful. And then we're going to have some brown lentils, this dried soy mince, chopped tomatoes, vegetable stock, and then we're going to finish off with sweet corn and kidney beans. So tons of vegetables, but tons of flavour. So it's a win-win. So now I'm going to add in the spices and cook them off a bit. So all those lovely spices go in. I'm going to add in the tomato puree because we want to cook that through, or it can be a bit bitter, so you want to get that in as well. Well, it's already smelling, oh, absolutely brilliant. Smelling delicious. And then still going to stir it. Most of our dishes are really quick to make. So some of them are oven dishes, like the macaroni cheese piece is going to be in the oven, but I've already got one in there already, so I'll show you the finished version. I really am getting this everywhere, but never mind. So, a couple of minutes just to soften everything, cook off the puree, and get those spices mixed in. Lovely. Right, now I'm just going to turn that a bit. To that, I'm going to add in lentils. So you can cook your own lentils, or you can get them from a tin already cooked. Again, long shelf life, so store-covered ingredients. So you can do your planning, and you know, less one delivery you can plan forward. So get that all mixed in.
I was just going to say, Lisa, last time we had some feedback from people about talking about alternatives to things like corn and what do you put in instead of meat if you're cooking these dishes. So I guess the lentils are a great, lentils and the soy protein, you've got both bases
Absolutely
covered there.
Yeah, I completely agree. And not only that, you can add you know, like a sweet potato or mushrooms. there's so many jackfruit, there's so many brilliant alternatives to meat that yeah, it makes life really easy.
Yeah,
so I'm going
absolutely.
to add in now the dry dehydrated soy protein, and then tin tomatoes. I've actually got fresh, but you can use tinned, not a problem. And give that a mix. Now to that, I'm going to add vegetable stock and let that cook down. Let's pour that in and it will absorb it. And it smells wonderful.
I was just having a look at my trusty bag of soya mince in the kitchen before we started at the nutrition, because it's interesting. I think it's over 50% protein, and it's got hardly any fat, like less than 1% fat, no saturated fat, and virtually no salt and no sugar. So it's super healthy, and it's really cheap and bulks out these dishes, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And also we recommend when we do our menu reviews for the meat reduction, because we're not saying don't ever eat meat or take it off the menu, we're just saying use less of it. And it's actually another, we say you can use lentils 50-50, but this is another great product that you can use for 50-50 mince. You haven't changed your menu one bit, except it's going to be cheaper, healthier, more sustainable, just by adding the dehydrated mince to your already dishes that are on the menu, like the popular ones. Okay, so I'm going to add a tiny bit more. And then I'm going to add in the kidney beans and the sweet corn. So just a little few facts about kidney beans. Another great source of plant-based protein, and got various minerals and vitamins, fibres, antioxidants. So a really lovely ingredient. Again, store cupboard, easy to use, long shelf life. In they go, adding some really great colour as well to this dish. And then we're going to mix that in. And you can see, I mean, I didn't even use all the portions that are for the recipe for 10, and look how much you get. I mean, you really get bang for your buck. A little goes a long way.
I have a huge container of this in the fridge at the moment. It's a staple in our house.
I can imagine. So there you go. Now what I would normally do is I'd probably cook that down, maybe put a lid on, let it simmer for around 10 minutes. But we'll just, and all that will do, the flavours would absorb and get all lovely and delicious, and even more delicious. But we're just gonna pretend that I did that for 10 minutes, and I'm gonna plate up. Turn it down a sec. So you can serve this traditionally with some rice, which is always good. We've got a lovely recipe for lemon rice in the recipe book as well, which is yummy. And then let me just turn that down a bit. Just going to sprinkle a little bit, I will be back, of green on top. And there you go, how quick was that? You've got a lovely, fresh, Mexican style chili non carne dish, packed with goodness and flavour, really quick and easy to do. And not only that, if you serve jacket potatoes in your schools, which a lot of people do, very popular jacket potatoes, what a great topping. What an alternative to just baked beans or just plain cheese.
Looks gorgeous.
So you can add that to your jacket potatoes. And already you've got like 2-in-1 dishes, both plant-based. In my head, everyone's applauding. Okay.
We are applauding.
Yes. Can't take the credit for these particular recipes. That was Richard Watts, but they're very good and delicious. We love them. Right, so I'm just going to put this over here out of the way and put my pan on, turn it down a bit, because the second recipe I'd like to share with you today is creamy collie, mac and cheese and peas. Now, for this one, there's 2 processes to this, but they're really, really quick. So I'll just read you the ingredients. So cauliflower broken into florets, vegetable stock, macaroni uncooked, to start with obviously, cauliflower sauce, which I'll talk you through, plant-based butter, plain flour, plant-based grated cheese, nutritional yeast, which we will talk about in a second, peas and coarse breadcrumbs. So the cost of this is 38 pence per portion. The fibre is 4.8, the protein is 8.6, saturated fat is 3.7. Other nutritional facts, it's low in fat, contains iron and zinc, and it's very, very low carbon emissions, 0.44. Super low. So I was going to tell you about the cauliflower sauce, and it was super easy to make. Now I did pre-make one just because it's really easy. You just don't want to see me boiling cauliflower, or maybe you do, but I've already done it. So it's just boil up your cauliflower in the vegetable stock cube, and then you blitz it off, and what you're left with is just like a liquid, almost like a cauliflower soup. So a little goes a long way, and that's the basis of our sauce that we're going to make. So I've already pre-boiled my macaroni as well, because that does take a while to boil. To boil. And I didn't want to bore you with me watching me boil macaroni. So what we're going to do now is we're going to thicken the cauliflower sauce. So we're going to use some plant-based butter, melt it down, add some flour and give it a little bit of a whisk. So in it goes, my butter. It's quite hot already. So that'll melt quickly. And I have to work quite quickly because obviously we're making a roux. And whilst we're doing that, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about B12. I'm not sure if we had that in our poll, but I wonder if anyone's used nutritional yeast before. Probably we've already asked you this, but nutritional yeast, you can get it in supermarkets, you can get it from suppliers, health food shops, and it really is a wonderful product. It's really, really cheesy, and it makes dishes really, really cheesy. It's got quite a strong flavour profile, so you don't need much to get the cheesiness, and also it's really, really good for you as well. So just melting down my butter.
It's also packed with protein. I think it's like, again, over 50% protein. So it's a really easy way to up the protein. Not that you usually need to.
And we talk about this quite a lot, don't we, Colette? Because people do tend to worry about their protein intake when it comes to being plant-based, where really everyone should be thinking about their fibre intake, because it's quite, it's easy to get your protein intake up. As you can see already, things are packed with protein. We just want lots of vegetables to get the fibre up. So nutritional yeast, just whilst my butter's melting, plant-based butter, obviously. So it's dried yeast flakes, and it's a good source of vitamin B12 and B vitamins. And it can be added to soups, vegetable stews, pasta dishes, sauces. You can make a lovely cheesy leek crumble. It's a really versatile flavour. So anyway, so my
it sounds like it sounds as though it's going to taste horrible because it's like a pot of yeast, but it's actually delicious.
Yeah, I think I'm so used to it that I don't think of that. But yeah, you're right. It doesn't sound add your yeast, but it's
you wonder how you lived without it.
Yeah, you end up we add it to everything. Like I'm talking at home, just whack it in. So I'm just going to add some flour in just to thicken. So I can work quite quickly. So it doesn't go lumpy, and it makes a bit of a racket. So bear with. It doesn't take long. Everyone's made a roux before. Just thicken it up, and then I'm going to slowly add in and cook off the cauliflower mixture. You keep it going, and that will start to thicken up. I'm just going to turn up my heat. So really quick, turn it round.
So it's like a bechamel sauce, but you've snuck in more vegetables.
Exactly. We've got like a ton of cauliflower in here, and you'd never know. But actually, I love the taste of cauliflower. But this is just a brilliant way to make a sauce with like very little fat whatsoever. So to that, so now we've got our sauce, our white sauce. I'm going to add my nutritional yeast. In it goes. Give that a stir around. And it has the added benefit of making it look cheesy as well because of the colour. And to that, I'm going to add the plant-based cheese. Give that a stir. And you've just got like the most yummy sauce. And we're using it for the macaroni, but obviously you can use this, adapt it to loads of different things as well, like a vegetable lasagna. Whatever you normally use your cheesy white sauce for. You can do lovely with pasta. Okay, so I'm just going to get rid of this, and then what we're going to do is grab, just check I'm doing everything. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to add in some of the mac and cheese. Excuse me, Mr. Cameraman. In that goes. Oops. Again, I'm getting everywhere. Never mind. And let's get rid of the. And stir that round. Now to this, oh, it's really creamy. It's exactly how you want macaroni cheese to look and feel and sound. Get that all in. Don't waste a thing. And again, you look how much, you're getting a lot. And to that, I'm actually going to add in some peas because children love peas. I love peas. And they have the colour, flavour.
This is one of our really popular dishes that we're seeing on lots of menus, and children are really enjoying it, which is great. It's just replacing the classic mac and cheese with loads of cheese in it.
Exactly. That's why it's so good to have. Okay, so I'm just going to grab my dish. And I'm going to pour it in. Get rid of that. Trying to be as elegant as I can. You can pour that in. Get that all in. And then last but not least, get every little bit out. I'm going to finish off with some coarse breadcrumbs. And this will add texture, crunch, flavour, and just elevates it. And we all love a bit of a crunch and different textures. You've got the soft gooiness and cheesiness of the macaroni, and then you've got the crunchy topping. So excuse me a moment while I just get rid of my hob. And I'm going to get out the macaroni cheese that I have in the oven. And I'm going to put my other one in. So this one's been in a little bit longer than it should have, I'm not going to lie. But that's because I was prepping for the webinar. So I'm just going to turn the oven on. Let that cook. And then I'm going to dish some up. Excuse me. Let me get. Let me grab my cloth because it's very warm. So yeah, it's 20 minutes it's meant to bake for. So I had mine in, I have to admit, a little bit longer just because I was prepping for the webinar. Actually, I've picked the worst fork. Sorry, spoon. Here we go.
And just to say as well, we've been running some of these, doing some of these recipes with school caterers. That looks lovely. You just need to kind of check the cooking times with your particular ovens. Obviously, if you're using a really powerful Rational oven, you're probably going to need to adjust the temperature and the cooking time a little bit, take it down a tad.
Exactly. This is a domestic oven that mine was in. And so your Rational ovens or whatever ovens you're using are going to be a lot stronger. But you can get a good idea of this lovely cheesy dish that's packed with goodness. And just children would never even know there's a cauliflower in there. And it just tastes so good. I mean, I really love it if you tried some of these dishes and then sent us your opinion, because it's all well and good me telling you how wonderful they are. But I'd love you to try them at home and let us know what you think. Okay, so I know my mouth's watering anyway.
Recipe number 3.
Recipe number 3. So, where are my glasses? So this one is a nice side. And again, I've pre-cooked some of the ingredients because just for time. So this is the sweet potato, carrot and roasted garlic mash. So when you're roasting the garlic, it really, what you would do is wrap the garlic loosely in the foil. And then, actually, let me just read you exactly what's written here, because we all do it different ways, so it's good to follow the way we've recommended. Wrap each large bowl of garlic loosely in kitchen foil, roast in the oven for around an hour on 180. And when it's cool, then you can literally just slice it. I tend to just squeeze it out because I just have great satisfaction in squeezing out the garlic. And what happens when you roast garlic, as you probably know, it goes sweet and sticky and caramelizes, and is really, it's completely different. And it's my favorite way to have garlic is to roast it, and putting it into a mash as well just works wonderfully. So sweet potatoes and carrots roughly chopped, easy peeled and chopped, boil them. And then we've got some plant-based butter, and then we've got some vegetable stock, and then you add in the garlic as well. And so you can wait till everything's cooled and put it all in, then reheat it. So we've got it all in here. So 19 pence per portion. So this is just the, it's not finished obviously. Fibre 4.5, protein 2.1, saturated fat 2.1, low in sugar, low in salt, contains calcium, iron, zinc, iodine, vitamin B12, very low in carbon emissions, literally 0.15. So in your place of work, you would probably have a piece of equipment where you could blitz things up. I'm just going to use a stick blender for ease and quickness. But obviously at work, you've probably got a big machine that can do it for you, or a home food processor. So I'm just going to add a little bit of stock in to the garlic and give it a little blitz. And it really is one of the best mash you'll ever eat. I mean, I love mashed potato, don't get me wrong, but it's just a different level to your mashed potato. And again, great feedback. You've given me fantastic feedback. Got a very pleasant noise, so I apologize. Chunky, or you can have it smooth. Make sure everything's mixed in, and that will do. I'm just going to grab a spoon, and I will need to use my stick blender again for the next recipe, so I'll quickly. Oh, did we have anyone? Sorry, Colette, did you say people had been abused B12 nutritional yeast? I can't remember what you said now. You probably did, didn't you?
We didn't do the poll on it. We did the poll on it last time, so I'm not sure. But yeah, feel free to pop it in the chat if anybody has any feedback on using nutritional yeast. We'd love to know. We're massive fans. We've just had a question actually from Yvonne, who was asking, do we promote organic food? So I was just replying, but actually basically the answer is we don't expressly promote organic foods. Obviously they're very good. We're dealing with a lot of partners who just are very tight on cash, so it's about trying to make those ingredients stretch as far as possible. So it's about really getting the best ingredients that you can afford, whatever those are, and just using as many vegetables and whole food plant-based ingredients as possible. But it's a good question, Yvonne, thank you.
So I'm going to show you another recipe. I was just washing down my blender. Now this particular recipe, as I said, it's a real crowd pleaser. We've had really, really good feedback. It's just a brilliant grab and go wrap. And let's have a little look at the stats. So it's crushed chickpea and sweet corn mayo wrap, and the ingredients are chickpeas drained and rinsed, plant-based mayonnaise, which, by the way, if you've never tried, you wouldn't know the difference. There's no way in a blind taste test you'd know the difference. So you may as well do the right thing, and in my opinion, and get the plant-based, because it's really, really good. Spring onions finely chopped, onion granules, tortillas, gem lettuce leaves, and a tomato slice, cucumber thinly sliced. And some of our recipes have similar ingredients, completely different dish, but it's really good that you don't have to buy a zillion separate ingredients. So, I mean, just reading those ingredients reminded me of some more of the dishes in our recipe books, but have a look through and see what you think. So, nutritional value. So cost 47 pence per wrap, fibre 4.5, protein 8.1, saturated fat 1.3, and low in sugar, contains calcium, iron, zinc, and really low in carbon emissions as well, which of course is on everyone's mind. It's really important, isn't it, that we are aware of our food. So I'm just going to bring over the ingredients to show you. So we've got here chickpeas and sweet corn. And to that, I'm going to add some mayonnaise. So I'm just actually going to finish off the jar. Very popular in my house, mayonnaise. And then to that, I'm going to add some onion granules and some spring onion. So you've got some lovely flavours there. It's really to enhance and make every wrap delicious. And then again, my trusty stick blender, so apologies again once more for the noise. You can actually use a fork, because I was at an event the other day and I was demoing this and there wasn't any equipment, so I just used the fork. Potato masher. You don't need electrical equipment really. Just for speed. Crush that down.
I was just going to say, Lisa, we've just had a quick question from Natalie asking, are these recipes available to us? So I just thought I'd share that. Yes, they are. They're all available in a brochure on our website that you can download. So if you just go to schoolplates.com, you can download those for free.
Yeah, and they're really user-friendly and delicious. And just really to give you inspiration really about what you can do, because some people think of plant-based food, and if you aren't particularly familiar with plant-based food, can be a bit overwhelmed by, oh, what does that mean? Do I have to buy new ingredients? Do I have to buy new equipment? But hopefully we've shown you that actually it's super simple and it's just like good food. Same as if it had meat or fish, it's just, you know, just lovely recipes that are really good for you. So I've got a wholemeal wrap. You can use 50-50, you can use white, completely up to you. So I've also got this lovely gem lettuce, which I'm going to lay across. Flatten that down. And to that, I'm going to add some cucumber. sliced cucumber to make it lovely and fresh. And again, you know, just really good for you, hydrating, vitamins, minerals. Going to add some tomato. So just let me get rid of this. Going to slice it down a bit more. So it's just lovely colours, lovely salad. And then I'm going to add in this lovely filling that is so Moorish. Let me tell you, I can literally eat it straight from the bowl. It has been known. Okay, I always have a tendency to overpack my wrap because being greedy, but we'll see. Right, so to do your wrap, you fold it over. Obviously, you're seeing it from a different angle, but you fold it over, then you pull it back, press it down. So you've got an escapee there, get back in you. Then you're going to fold in the side, fold the other side, and give it a little squeeze. Do that again. Little squeeze, and voila, you have your wrap. So let me just cut that in half. And you've got a really delicious wrap packed full of yumminess. And once you get going, you can whip up loads of these wraps really quickly, and it's just really easy to do. So let's just have a little spin around the dishes that we've made today. We've got the Mexican style non-chili con carne, and we've got the creamy collie mac and cheese and peas, which is here. And also we've got the jacket potato as well as a lovely topping. We've also got our lovely garlic, sweet potato and carrot mash. And then to finish off, I've showed you this grab and go lovely wrap. Just sorry, I lost my page for a minute. So it's the crushed chickpea and sweet corn mayo wrap. So I hope you agree they're really easy to make. They look nice and colourful. I really would love you to try them and then let us know how you get on. If you have any questions, or if you have a look at the website, our website, subscribe to our newsletter to find out about up and coming events and more webinars. Also, it'd be really great if you could fill out the feedback form so we can find out what you'd like to see next time, whether you want to hear more about nutrition, whether you want to hear more about the recipes, ingredients, or we're going to tailor them around the feedback that we get. And if you have any questions at the moment, we'd love to hear from you as well, because we did have a few from last time. But hopefully we've inspired you to try some new dishes, some new plant-based dishes. And also, please do download our 2 resources. I'll just show you the other one. We've got the guide and the recipes. And if you go to our website, ProVeg UK, you can download these, and that's where you'll find the links to find out a little bit more about what we do and how we're helping schools become more sustainable and healthy, and introducing more plant-based dishes onto the menus. So if anyone has any questions, do let me know.
We've got a couple of questions actually. Oh, how we go. We've just got the poll on whether people attended the previous workshop. So it looks like about a quarter did, and about 3/4 didn't. So we've got lots of new people today, which is great. Welcome. Spread the word, come to the next one. Yeah, we've got a question from Samantha Harrington, who has already downloaded the recipes and is going to try them out, so that's good news. And she's asking, will we be doing secondary school portions and costings, which is a great question. Probably we will, Samantha. At the moment it's just Lisa and I doing all of this, so we started off with the primary schools, because those are the schools we predominantly work with. We do help secondary schools as well, but yeah, we've started with that, and there's obviously lots we'd like to do in the future, so that's good feedback. We'll try and incorporate it next time we're doing the recipes. Maybe we can have the portions for primaries and for secondaries when we update. Just looking, Rupert says, was the mayo shop bought or your recipe?
It was
good question, Rupert.
Yeah, it was. Sorry, I'm just answering already.
No, do.
That's me cheating, because you can obviously make your own mayo quite easily and less and more economically. So maybe that's something we'll talk about next time as well. But yes, I do. Hands up, I did buy that particular one, I have to say.
Perfect. And Claudia says that everything looks fresh and delicious. Thank you, Claudia. You can come again. If anyone's got any more questions, please just, we might have some more. Let me keep looking. Rupert wants to know what brand of mayonnaise it was.
It was Hellman's.
But also other good brands are available. Of course. Amanda is asking, do we do in-house school demos? Do you want to answer?
Well, we don't usually do individual.
Oh, we've lost your sound.
Oh, can you hear me now?
We can hear you, yeah.
Okay. So I'll just say, individual schools we don't technically work with. What we do is work with local authorities and councils, where we bring the heads of catering together and do a workshop. However, if there's around, I don't know, 8 to 10 or plus that you can bring together and have a venue, then yeah, we could potentially come to you for sure. Yeah.
Perfect. And what else? Helen says, looks beautiful. We'll definitely be trying the recipes. We're loving this feedback, everybody. And Michael is one of our partners that we work with at a multi-academy trust. He says the recipes are so easy to do for secondary school portions. So yeah, it's pretty straightforward. And yeah, if you're looking at the school food standards, you know roughly how much you need to have of your protein and your, whatever in there, so you can quickly and easily adapt them. But we will try and adjust those as well. What else have we got? Yeah, all positive. We've got about 10 minutes left, so keep the questions coming if anybody, I think we might have another one. Thank you, enjoyed the meeting. That's great, Amanda, thank you. We had a few questions, like Lisa said, at the end of this we will have there'll be a feedback form that just pops out, and we just encourage you to take 5 minutes to fill it out, because we had so much great feedback, and it does help us shape what we do next time. So there were just a few things I was going to pick up which might be useful. We had sorry, I'm just looking through my notes. So we had a couple of people commented on the fact that there's barriers to overcoming students' perceptions of plant-based, and also the barriers, talking to the kind of the catering staff in the kitchen, that they might be a bit skeptical, a bit resistant to plant-based food. So it was just a question around how do we get them on board, really? How do we get them moving away from just serving all the usual stuff, all the pizzas and the slightly unhealthy foods? Yeah,
that's a good question, and we come across that time and time again, and not just with caterers, also with parents and teachers. And we find the best way is with the in-person workshops, where we all cook together and we cook recipes from the book, and then we talk about any kind of concerns, really, because it's the unknown. If you've been cooking a certain way for years and years and years, and it's worked, why would you want to change it? And we go through why it is best to kind of start moving forward and introducing more plant-based meals, and overcoming those concerns, and doing it at a pace that everyone's comfortable with as well. It's not like we're here to make life easier, not to help with that kind of transition moving forward. So yeah, ideally it would be in-person workshops with Colette and myself, and we've found they are the best ways. If that's not possible, then we can do online workshops specifically for your needs, if that works. Yeah, and that's the kind of thing that we would do. I think there's nothing better than actually cooking and eating it yourself, and then you're kind of like, oh, actually it's easier than what I thought, or it tastes better than what I thought, or there's nothing scary or different. So yeah, we've
got some useful comments coming through, Lisa. So we've got so Michael's just said it's all about getting children to try the dishes first and show the caterers how easy it is to make simple changes. Absolutely, couldn't agree more. I was just going to say, it kind of leads into this barriers. People were asking, you know, how do you get children to try foods? It's all about tasters. So with those people we work with where it's most successful, they cook these recipes or other recipes that they want to put on, and they kind of have them as an extra after lunch on some day, so children can come and just have like a spoonful, and then they vote on which of the dishes they like the best, and then the one that gets the most votes goes on the next menu. So they've already tried it. It's not something they're unfamiliar with, and it's kind of got the children's seal of approval. And I think, you know, if the children like it, then the caterers tend to like it too. They just want to make sure they eat the food. Just looking at the comments. Andrea says, Lisa, all your food looks delicious as usual. Thank you, Andrea.
Oh, hi, Andrea.
That's lovely. Alison says choosing menus at home can be an issue as lots of parents are unsure. We're having parent workshops where I invite parents in and we'll cook alongside parents and their children. I mean, that's a great thing to do. The more we can, include the parents, anybody who's making the decisions, the better. And we realise lots of the parents are choosing the dishes if they're choosing in advance. So we've got to appeal to them and what they like. Every Monday I go into the canteen with samples. Perfect. Corn chili on a Monday. Yvonne says she's meeting with her school catering department soon to discuss increasing the plant-based meals, part of the Bite Back initiative. That's great. I'm currently working with a group of about 12 students, all teenagers. Yeah, this is all great stuff. It's just trying to, you know, make things that are unfamiliar a bit more familiar and just slowly introducing things. And I think, like we talked about at the beginning, why, you know, just explaining the why of all of this, that it's really important for the planet, it's really important for our health. So I think once people get that, they're much more likely to give it a try. And once they try it, they realize it's actually really nice and not maybe what they thought. So Claudia has said, instead of regarding plant-based food as being something that's just for the one random vegan, good point. I hope chefs will embrace the fact that plant-based food is really inclusive. Everyone can eat it. Yeah, absolutely, Claudia. I mean, this is another of our kind of key things that we come across is, you know, preparing loads of different menus for all different dietary requirements and different, you know, religious, ethical, whatever reasons. This food, unless you have an allergen, you know, an intolerance to one of the ingredients, this is food for everybody and everybody can enjoy it. So that's a great point. Has anybody got any more questions today? I'm just going to quickly, let me just see if there's anything here. No, I'm just going to quickly pop the dates of our next workshops. So you can maybe just save them in your diaries. I'll just pop them in now. And I think I put up the social media handles so you can follow us, and then you can, as soon as those are live, you can register. So let me just, sorry, I'm trying to do too many things at once, too many tabs open. There we go. Yeah, so we've basically got a workshop every month apart from August where we're going to put our feet up. And yeah, we'd love you to join us. If nobody has anything else they'd like to add. Oh, sorry, we've got Samantha, just quickly. We're in the process of putting together a new menu for the next school year. After advice, I have completely new look on how I should design my menu. Wonderful news. I've attended the past 2 LBA meetings you've attended. Brilliant. Oh, that's great. You were there in Colchester last week. That's really nice, Samantha. Yeah, if you're stuck, if you've got any questions, drop us a line, schools@praveg.com. If not, we will say goodbye.